Hello everyone, and welcome to the first Escreal Let's Play Minecraft video. I'm Dana, and I cannot wait to show you what we're going to be doing in this world on this server. So just to kind of get things started a little bit, I do have a little bit already begun, because in the search for the new server to start this series, I did check out a few multiplayer servers. This particular server that I'm on is called Super Noobs, which I thought was a pretty excellent name, and so far it seems like a pretty cool server. When I joined the server, I also joined a brand new town. So this is what the town currently looks like. As you can see, it's still very much in its infancy, but there are some things started. For my little plot of land, I spent the first time playing just getting some basic resources that I'm going to need in order to do what I would like to do on the server. So I'll walk you through a little bit of what that was, but I just want to give you a really quick tour of the town. The server uses the Townie plugin to provide access to a whole sort of suite of town functions, which I've never used before, so I'm excited to learn. It starts, at least as far as I'm aware of, with the fact that I get a plot of land. I claimed this when I came on the server. I was invited to join this town. I did, and I selected one of the available plots. It's just a little bit smaller than a full chunk, which would have been 16 by 16. I believe that this is like 16 by 12 or so. But it's my own little in-town area. So we have just a few other buildings already, some stores being prepared. The mayor's house is over there. Our entrance place to the portal, or the teleporting location if you come to this town through teleporting, puts you right there. And so as you can see, I have a fairly close location to the center of the town at this point. Now, so I did spend one full day doing a whole bunch of mining more than anything else, but a little bit of exploration as well. And because I needed to get a bunch of resources, a bunch of core resources, in fact. To get started, one of the first things that I did is go around and start making sure that I had a constant source of food. So for me, it started with pigs because they were the closest available animal. So I brought a bunch back, started to breed them with some carrots. And with that, I now had a source of food that was reliable. I went out after that to find some chickens, because that was the next set that I found. Chickens, again, they are a super convenient source of food. And in fact, one of the reasons why I was excited to get chickens is there's this really cool automated cooked chicken farm that you can build, which I intend to do, if not this episode, then probably the next episode. And then the coup de grace, the main reason I was looking for animals is because I needed to get some cows. And I needed cows because I needed leather. And I need leather because I need books. And I need books because I want to enchant. So I finally found a couple of cows about 600 blocks away. I didn't have any slime blocks or slime yet, slime balls, so I wasn't able to make a leash. So I brought them back about 600 blocks, just leading them with wheat, which was really, really amusingly annoying. And I almost wish it was recorded, because you would have, I think, gotten a little bit of amusement out of my frustration. But I did it, and they're here. And because this server continues to progress time with people here, I have not only my baby cows that I've been breeding fully grown, but I have a whole bunch of wheat to feed them, to breed them. And so we're getting pretty close to the point where I'll be able to very easily breed and farm my cows for leather for my books. The other thing that I've discovered previously is that the process of getting all the books that I need lends itself to getting a whole lot of beef. So with these cows, with my process of getting my enchanting table all set up, I will end up also having a whole sequence of meat that I can use to keep me alive on this game. So it's a double whammy. I planted a bunch of wheat so that way I can, again, feed and breed my cows. I also found pumpkins. Now, for anyone who has seen my first video of my previous build on the previous server, you'll know that pumpkins feature heavily in my design. Specifically, jack-o'-lanterns feature heavily in my design. And so one of the first things that I will need to do in order to build what I want to build is actually make a automated pumpkin farm, because I don't want to have to be here manually harvesting my pumpkins. I want to have just a constant stream of them coming in so I can focus on things like building. Now that represents pretty much everything that I got in the outside world, with one extra element, which is some carrots that I use to feed my pigs. The carrots I actually was able to get from a little bit of a communal farm that was set up here, which includes carrots, potatoes, some wheat, and now cactus, which was very convenient. But that got me started. Conveniently, I also did find a village out in the world, so I could have gotten carrots that way, but I am super grateful to that initial village. Now, one of the things that is unfortunately a little bit wonky, we'll say, in this town, is that, at least as of when I was here last, a lot of the communal elements weren't really communal yet. They weren't, the permissions for them weren't yet activated. And that might be because I was still brand new to the server and I wasn't fully propagated through the system. I'm not sure. But I wasn't able to utilize some of the communal farms, which is part of the reason why I went to kind of use this small little area for a bit of an animal farm and a crop farm. And I feel bad about it because I clearly don't want that to linger visibly. And I saw this sign, "This is wrong," and I'm not sure if he's intended that sign for that plot of land is wrong or what I've done here is wrong. But I'm self-conscious enough to assume that it's not. It's a commentary on what I've done, which. By the way, I did try to add signage to say, don't worry, this is temporary, I was just gathering resources, and today is now tomorrow, so I'm going to start the real building. Now, a few other little things to show is that, if I can show you what I've got, I do have a full suit of iron armor at this point, plus a bunch of diamond elements. While mining, I was able to get a lot of diamonds, a whole lot of iron, some gold, plenty of coal, even some obsidian. This is particularly critical for my enchanting table, which is definitely something I want to get as soon as possible, because as of right now, I don't have any enchantments on my picks, which means I don't have any efficiency, which means this is super inconvenient to do things like get resources. One of the early things that I learned playing Minecraft is I started off really hoarding all of my precious materials, like even my iron. I was reluctant to make iron pickaxes because cobblestone was just available, and making just stone pickaxes meant that I was never losing anything valuable while mining, which seemed like a really smart thing, right? Like, I'm trying to get iron. Why would I waste iron on my pickaxe? Like, it's just going to wear out, whereas cobblestone is effectively an unlimited resource. One of the things that I learned over time, though, playing Minecraft, is that the amount of time that I'm going to spend mining is really about the same. I'm going to effectively mine until I fill up my inventory, which means that the amount of time I spend filling up that inventory with items like cobblestone, stone pickaxes, real world time is going to take substantially longer than, say, a diamond pickaxe with enchantments on efficiency. And that although it wears down my pickaxe, in the amount of real world time that I am actually spending doing things like building, mining for materials, I'm getting significantly more materials, more iron, more diamonds, more gold if I invest the time in my equipment. So immediately, among the first things that I do with mining, get down to the diamond layer, get 3 diamonds, get a diamond pickaxe. And then from there, everything that I'm doing is going to use a diamond pickaxe unless I absolutely run out of diamonds. And it's so core that I will delay getting my diamond armor until I am sure that I have more than enough diamonds for pickaxes and mining in those core resource gathering activities that I have to do, particularly early in the game. So that's a little bit about my diamond. My iron, I am excited to start actually building into redstone components, hoppers, and the such. We do have a whole lot of extra just world resources. I got a couple buckets of lava because one of the builds that I want to do, the cooked chicken farm, requires lava in order to cook the chicken. So that is prepped for that. And we're also gathering up all of our redstone that we're going to be using for our builds. So this is what I've accomplished so far. Nothing too crazy, I hope. And, we have our mayor here. So let's say hello and bow a bit and see what's going on with that. So I had a little bit of a conversation with the mayor of the town who did come over and was like, you can't do this. And I'm like, I know I can't do this. That's why I'm going to be moving it. It was a slightly amusing interplay, which I will most likely have edited out of this recording because really, who wants to sit and watch me type? But with that in mind, we are going to begin the process of relocation of our animals. Now, we can only have one plot of land in town, but at least to my knowledge, that means that we have vertical and, further vertical, just downward space to play with. So here's what I'm thinking of doing. One of the other things that I learned early on with Minecraft is having animals near where you are actively, regularly working can get really annoying because of the sound effects if you're playing with sound on. The same with a nether portal, that if you have that too close to where you are always kind of operating, the background, at least for me, can get annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the animals that I do intend to have, and I'm going to dig down basically until I get far enough that I won't hear them whenever I'm just actively doing stuff in my base, and also other people around me won't hear them when they are actively doing stuff, unless they, go down to that level. So all of the cows I'm going to drop, all of the chickens, the pigs, I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to keep them around or not, but probably for now, because why not? It doesn't hurt. And what I'm going to do with the pumpkins is turn that into, now that I have some seed pumpkins, if you will, I'm going to turn that into a automated farm, which I can technically put anywhere. And the wheat, I want to have wheat for my cows, and I was thinking of incorporating the growing of the wheat into the actual design of my building. So just a little bit of what I am thinking of doing on the vertical side of things is I am thinking of doing a lot of glass on the outside with using water and ribbons of water that kind of go around the outside of the base, and possibly use that as a mechanism for moving wheat from a farm up on a higher level down to a collection booth. I think it could be kind of cool to watch from outside. Ultimately, at the very top, I intend to have a spot to farm trees. So you plant trees, you can chop them down, collect all of their saplings, and so forth. But this particular area is very limited when it comes to existing trees, so having a farm of my own will be very convenient, and I definitely have the iron to make that possible at this point, but not the wood, ironically. For the animals, the way that I'm going to move them is I'm going to dig down until I feel happy. I'm going to flood that area with water, and then I will just dig up until there's a completely clear vertical shaft from the animals down to the level I want them to be at. They'll hit the water. Because it's water, they won't take fall damage and they'll survive. So it should end up being a very easy way to just kind of collapse the ceiling and bring the animals down. So that's my plan. And the way that I'd like to begin this, or what I'd like to try next, is to show in a time-lapse video the mining out of underneath the ground. We'll try this out, see if it works. This is a learning experience for me with creating these videos, but I would like to take advantage of time-lapse so it's not just a constant jump cut. So we'll see how that works. And here we go. Let's start our digging. Alright, so we have a decent amount of digging already. What I've been doing is simply along the borders of my property. I've dug down a decent amount. I haven't yet taken off the top couple of layers of dirt, just so that way I can control when I do want to drop it. What I would like to do, though, now, prior to going much further with the actual act of digging, is start dropping the animals, so that way I'm not running the risk of annoying the town anymore. And then, even more importantly, is actually build a temporary enchanting table spot, so that way this whole process of digging out the rest of the area to ultimately get down to where I want to go doesn't take nearly as long. So that is what I'm going to be doing next. So first off, I am going to just go back up the ladder that I made for my convenience to get some fence posts. I'm going to cordon off an area down on this side, I think, because that will be the easiest for me to drop the cows into. So I now have a section of the room that is fully equipped to handle falling creatures without taking damage. Creatures falling into the water won't be harmed. I'm going to use fence posts to do a couple things. One, to enclose some of the water, because I don't need it to be that much of the room. But also, I'm going to use it as a way of keeping the animals from roaming around. Because this is, again, just a temporary home. What we're going to be doing, what we'll end up doing with them is dropping them again using the same pattern. So this is also a little bit of a fun dry run with our water. You may have noticed that there is carpet on the corners of the fence posts, which is super cool little trick. in that you can't jump over fences. If you have carpet on there, you can jump on the carpet and climb over it. It saves you from being stuck to using the gates, which animals can get through when you're trying to go through. So that is a wonderful little use of carpets. And since I'm technically going to be getting rid of all of this fence post, I will ultimately be able to reuse that carpet on the ground below. All right, let's see if this works. It should work. Come on. Who's going to be the first cow that goes? Important point. That's the edge of the safe drop fall area. So I ended up making it a little bit shy of the full area, but I can push my cows in. Boop. Oops. Uh-oh. Can they, with the water, get over the fence post? It's possible. That's something we'll have to fix. So my first pass may not be as brilliantly simple as I thought, but it's definitely close. I mean, the falling, preventing falling damage is definitely working, which is good. I'm gonna go down there and see how my little guys are doing. Possibly bump up my fence. Yeah. Because we definitely have a few that are getting over. All right, good to know. These couple that are on this side will probably just become leather. I do intend to kill a bunch of these cows anyway, so there's not a huge amount of need for keeping all of them alive. All right. So let's get the last of those guys down below. Boop. Push in our remaining. Haha, I fell too. That's a bit of a problem. All right, almost done with the cows. Last little one. Come on, guy. There you go. Boop. Cool. Right now, here we are. We have our animals in our pins up on this floor. We have our cows down there. We have a method that does technically work for dropping them safely without taking fall damage, although I'm pretty sure they would survive this height anyway, but I just want to be sure. And so we'll finish dropping the animals. We'll come back. We will make our enchanting table, and then we'll go from there. Look at that. It worked. Perfect. Very cool. All right, now then, here's what we're going to do next. We are going to clean up the water. We're going to add some new carpets over the fence posts in the corners so we can easily get in and out. And we will feed our cows because I want them to continue to breed. So we'll need some wheat. I'm going to use some dirt for making the water cleanup a little bit easier. We will create some carpets with a couple of wools. 3 should do it. And I think that's everything that I need. Cool. One of the things that you'll notice is that although I do have pigs and chickens and cows, I don't yet have sheep. And like cows, sheep are actually one of the animals that I really like having in my base because they are super convenient for things like wool. You can get around that with some other options, but for the most part, I'd rather just get some sheep and get them breeding, and then just shear them as needed. make them a whole bunch of different colors. It's kind of great. Now, in order to start the process of cleaning up, I'm going to use my animal elevator and just follow them down into the water. Our cows, we are going to push against this wall by repositioning our water. But first, we will get rid of the existing water just by putting something that is easy to clean up over all of the water sources. So we just get some dirt. You can also clean it up in a whole variety of other ways. You could put a bucket of water over the water source and then use the empty bucket to collect it. There are a few ways of doing it. I personally have found that shy of sponges, just putting sand or dirt over there is just the super convenient, easiest way of doing it. So all of our animals are now below ground. We're just going to do the final cleanup on the extra fence since I moved them closer to the final wall. Clean up our dirt. All right, cool. So we now have a whole slew of animals hanging out. Now our main goal here is to breed cows and get them to the point where we can take advantage of the leather. So we'll just go ahead and feed them all a little bit. Once they have the hearts, once 2 cows have hearts because they were fed, they go find a mate and produce a little itty bitty cow, which is cute. And we then increase our cow numbers. We also get experience for breeding. And if you have enough cows, this can become a super convenient XP farm, particularly early in the game, because you just go around and you feed them, they produce a child, you get XP, and until you have an XP farm to do some AFKing at, this can be a really easy way of doing it. So we have all of this space. We now have a bunch of cows. I think it's time to set up our makeshift enchanting table. So let us go topside and get the materials that we need to get started.